Today on my channel, Planner Friends, we're going to decorate my active creative faith journal here, and we're going into this other one so I can share with you some lessons that I'm offering you this week of Lent. I've written a devotional. I'm really proud of it, and the best part is I had something else written and then I was moved to create something entirely different. Hopefully it lifts you and helps you in your own life. So let's have some creative fun in faith today. Creative fun in faith. That's a little awkward. Let's have some fun and creativity with our faith. How's that? All right, friends, please stay tuned. Hello, planner friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm One Crafty Dolo. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Thank you. Thank you for the gift of your presence and your time. I really appreciate you. On Sundays on my channel, it's always about Jesus, faith studies, Bible studies, prayer journaling, and I always have a good mug of tea. And actually, I think I could use more tea, but it'll have to wait. Alrighty, so here we are in April. Hard to believe, isn't it? True confession, Sunday videos are my absolute favorite to make. I feel like I come on here and I open up, and my goal is to always uplift and inspire you. But I come to you in humility, which is a theme for today. I come to you as a flawed human who's won some, lost some, made mistakes, not made mistakes. And I want you to know that even in our darkest moments, we are loved. Alrighty, and that's the theme for today, humility, and we are loved. This is, I love this space. This is a little mini happy planner. I'm in my happy planner, mini happy planner era. I got this one here, which is a special cover I purchased. I'm not replacing the cover on here. It's pretty, and I thought these discs that I had on hand, it goes so well, but this I purchased a few months after it was released, so it was really discounted. It began in July, so I'm actually going to look. I think I'm filming this on Saturday, nothing like last minute Louie here. And I want to look at the new release, which comes out on Monday, to pick up another one for next year. I love this space. This is some paper I picked up at Michael's. Something I said in my video the other day, when I purchase things that I like single paper or something, I pick up two. This I created for the winter, but I think it still fits, so I left it in here. Isn't this pretty? Easter, he has risen, joy, blessings, peace. I think this is such pretty paper, so again, I picked up two. So let's fast forward here. I can do a quick flip through of March, which I think I already did, but we'll just quickly. And basically, I call it an active faith journal, but it's just another faith journal. And it's how I'm putting my faith into action. So that's why I came up with active faith. Incidentally, this divider is like everything. I miss the old squad girls. A number of people in different groups I'm in have been saying that. So now I am behind this week, as you can see, because we are here and there's nothing. That's my fault, but I worked a lot last week and I'm still kind of recovering. Anyway, but usually I would let it go, but I'm not letting it go. So I want to do this week and next week. And then I want to get into my Lenten devotional. Ready, set, go, right? Here's what I want to share with you. I had kind of an epiphany this week. Okay, I think next to chastity, humility is quite honestly the most underrated virtue out there. And I've been writing for a while now, but this time, I'm really leaning into writing devotionals. That's something I've wanted to do for a long time. And now I feel like, hey, I'm doing it. just brought you in closer. Sorry. I'm doing it and I like where it's taking me, both in terms of creating something and sharing it and writing in and of itself. But I also like where it's taking me spiritually and in terms of my faith. And that's pretty important to me today. And that's really what I wanted to talk to you about a little bit. I wanted to tell you how this week I had something written. Okay, I'll link my devotional below for the week. It's on Medium. It's free, but you might have to create a Medium account. So, FYI. All right. Anyway, I feel like this week was one of those cases where I was doing my daily prayer journal, which means a great deal to me. So I was working in that, and a verse I have read multiple times, let's be very clear on that, multiple times popped up, and it was Matthew 11:28. So I'm going to go through that in the Lenten section. But it's about rest and Jesus offering us rest. And I don't know how many times I have read that passage. Okay. Incidentally, sorry, I have visual challenges and sometimes I don't get things straight. Okay, fix that. There we go. Good enough. Okay. Anyway, I was looking at this verse, Jesus telling us he would give us rest. And again, I'll go back into it, but here's what hit me, and I want to share it with you. I don't know where you are on your faith journey right this moment as we're talking, well, as I'm talking and you're listening, but I want you to understand something, that we all get worn down, right? We do. This life will wear you down like nothing else. It just does. And yet, we think of Jesus as many things, but do we ever think of him as giving us rest? And that's a good question, because my honest answer is I don't know that I've always thought that way. I honestly don't know that I have. I think of Jesus as our salvation, a rock, and so forth, but as a respite from the world. And yet, when I say that to you, doesn't it make total sense? Like, why wouldn't he be? Why wouldn't he be our solution in this crazy and strife-filled world? And I don't know, it just hit me differently this time when I read that. And I wanted to share it with you because I feel like it's just important to think of it that way. And I don't know that I always have. So what am I talking about when I say, rest? Here's what my take for this week's devotional is. I came up with this terminology a while ago, and I don't believe somebody else may have said it, but if they did, I'm unaware. I've talked on this channel before about not getting into the could have, I should have, I wish I'd, all of those things and layering those on you. You know how we humans are so good at, berating ourselves, oh, we didn't do this, we should have done that, etc. Well, I would like to offer something a little different. Maybe it's time, in accordance with this verse, and this is part of my devotional for the week, maybe, friends, it's time to reframe the past instead of relitigating the past. Think about the difference in the word structure there, reframing versus relitigating. What do I mean by that? Okay. How many times in your life have you said to yourself, if I had only fill in the blank, if I had handled this differently, if only I had, well, how about this? Maybe that wouldn't have changed a thing. maybe you need to remember how hindsight is 2020. Hindsight's great because you're looking backwards. When you're in the moment, I believe you're doing the best you can, right? And so to that end, what you're doing, in essence, is you're relitigating your past. You're sitting there and saying, if I had done this and that person had done that, and if this had gone this way, and if I. Think about it, friends. Think about what I'm saying. Okay? Relitigating your past means you haven't made peace with it. It means there are people, I mean, this is, I think of people who have just, as my mother would say, gotten my goat. that's one of my mom's classics. They got my goat. Well, she's not wrong, as my husband would say. You're not wrong. In that people really will do a lot to us, and it's up to us to not second guess ourselves about those moments, and to understand that I bet you and me too, we made the best decisions we could at that time. And sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. So instead of relitigating the past, what if you reframe it and make it so that it's you did the best you could? You tried to help person X, and this is me, okay? You tried to help person X and they just wouldn't have it. They just wouldn't let you in to do that. And so you had to step back. You had to say no. You had to let them and that whole situation go for whatever reasons. There's a big difference between holding yourself accountable, which is fine. Yes, hold yourself accountable. But there's a big difference between holding yourself accountable for everything and not releasing the parts that aren't yours to hold. And that's where I wrote the relitigating versus reframing. I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I had something else ready to go for writing this week, and then this verse popped up, and it just was so meaningful to me that it honestly stopped me in my tracks. I felt like, okay, I see this, Lord. I see where Jesus, I think of him, I pray to him, I'm grateful to him, but do I realize how much else he gives me that I'm not even aware of? And I am forgiven. So I had this talk with my son this week. My son is an adult, and he's a good guy. He's kind, he's hardworking, he's respectful, he's just nice. If you met my son, what most people say to me is he's such a nice young man. But he might have messed up recently. Not intentionally, no malice, nothing like that. But he got in a little over his head with the situation. And he didn't want to admit defeat. And so I talked to him and I said to him, hey, you're allowed to be human. And we had quite a conversation. Well, same for you and me, okay? We are human and we are allowed to be human. And Jesus, this Lenten journey is all about focusing on his life and eventually what becomes his crucifixion. The agony in the garden, all the indignity and suffering, and the crown of thorns jammed on his head, and then the glorious resurrection. But that's all for me and for you. And why am I hard on myself when I know I'm saved and I can find respite in him? I know that's a little intense. I had to blow my candle out. It was dying there. I know I'm getting intense with you today, but it was really quite a moment for me when I sat down with that and saw it and really really embraced that all in my heart. I really did. And I needed those moments to say, wow, look at what Jesus does for us. And so I, again, talking to my son and saying, we're allowed to make mistakes, but we come to God and Jesus in humility and we find rest. So I'm just going to decorate this real quickly here for next week since I'm a bit behind, and that's okay. It happens, right? It happens. It's, I do feel good in this space, so I definitely will be looking. I wouldn't mind trying to figure out how to, what do I want to say? How to record, like go through the Happy Planner website and record it and discuss my likes and dislikes. So I might see how I can do that. I know Mojo Jojo Plans has done that. I've never done that. I'm not the most technologically literate person. I'm always behind, if you want the truth. I'm always behind everybody in terms of people do this and I'm like, oh, I guess I could do that. I'm always behind, and that's fine. I don't mind it. I really don't mind being behind because I feel like I'd rather be late to the party and try to get it right, or at least get it, to where it makes sense, if you will. Let's straighten that out. These are so doggone pretty, all these stickers. They're just so pretty. I'm just happy to be in here. I'm happy to create with you. These journals really mean so much to me. I don't know if I can even fully explain how much they mean to me. I'd love to know, though, why every time I film, my road becomes a freeway. And it's really not. I'm in the country. I don't understand it. But okay. I'll try to ignore the traffic, right? So let's see what else we've got here. I want to kind of finish this up a bit and move along. I think I'll put this flower here. I wouldn't mind putting another flower somewhere. Are there more here? Yeah, I thought there were. There's these here. I think we'll use this one. So pretty. Yeah, let's do that. Cute, cute, cute. So much cuteness in here. Let's do a green one. Perhaps over here. Perfect. Almost done, friends. Almost done. Oh, look at these little ones. Oh, they're pretty. I think we can add some of those in. Yep, yep, yep. Let's do this here. And let's get this one over here. I love these sticker books. To be honest with you, I am going to look at some of their sticker books that they have when the new release comes out. But I generally buy them on sale, so I don't know that I'll be buying them right away, but I'll be looking. I will be looking. This is so darn pretty. What's that saying? All is right in my soul. That's kind of how I feel right now. I do feel like all is right in my soul. One of these, this one. I think we could do this one over here. And so I have two there, two there. These are there. You know what? Let's leave it. So now comes the fun part. Now it's time to get to work. Okay, friends, so this did involve a little bit of back planning, but I'm okay with that. It's really pretty, isn't it? I've been joining in with some people with a Bible study, and so I've got that in here now. Of course, I always start with church, right? And then I start to dig into the rest of the week. So this is kind of the greeny yellow, and it's just pretty, and I'm trying to remind myself to come to you with a joyful heart. Next week looks a little Spartan, but I'm okay with that. Writing and editing, faith video. I want to not wait till Saturday to do it. And I've got my share the devotional, which originally I was sharing on Wednesdays and I had to move it to Fridays. So then we have Palm Sunday, which is just remarkable that it's already here. And then we have Easter the following week, my absolute favorite, and our saving grace and our joy. Now, let me show you what I did for this week in my Lent section of my other creative faith planner. Okay, so in the back here, I have this section that I just marked for Lent, and it's going so well. I love this space. And I do the assignment, and then I give you the assignment. So that's why you're basically not seeing most of them in here. But let's go. This was last week, and here we are for this week. My favorite gospel is Matthew. Now, let's move my tea. I have read these verses many times before, but it really hit me in my prayer journal this week. So Matthew 11:28, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:29, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Matthew 11:30, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And so I dug into these verses because it really, in my prayer journal, it really hit me. And so I am, again, you can read it, but I'm sharing anyway. Seeing these verses in my Bible app, I paused. Jesus is our salvation. He is with us in our journey. He loves us all. But rest? I read these verses so many times, and here they hit differently. Jesus offers us rest from the world, from feeling so burdened and overwhelmed. Jesus brings us the gift of catching our breath. That's an amazing and I think often overlooked gift. So I want you to carry that. And in that vein, my homework or my suggestion to you is to write a letter about how you're going to reframe things in your past rather than relitigate them, as I said earlier. I think that will, and ask Jesus for rest from it and to help you let it go. And that's part of what I like to do with Lent. That's why I always have that's why I have changed, not always. That's why I've now have viewed for a while, Lent cleanses us. And turn to Jesus, get your rest in him, ask him for help. A point here I made is Jesus comes to us in humility. That's a key point. He also offers us eternal rest and salvation from the burden of our sins. This is the most incredible gift. Yet he offers it by saying he is lowly, right? He says that, I am lowly, my yoke is, easy, my burden is light. That's a huge lesson for us because he's offering us everything, and yet he's approaching it with humility. And boy, does the world need humility. So this week, join me in cleansing the year or whatever you need to cleanse, a few years, a decade, and let's reframe your past. Ask for Jesus for rest, not only eternally, but in the day-to-day scrum of things. And please, stop relitigating the past because it's done. You're human. You're allowed to be human. And then you move on. Thank you so much for the gift of your time and your presence. If I can pray for you, please drop it in the comments below. Goodness knows I appreciate you, friends. Have a very blessed week, and I'll see you again next week for Palm Sunday. That's amazing. Thanks again for being here. God bless you. Bye now.